Hello, my beautiful friends. I'm going to record this video about mycelium, mushrooms, and the quantum world, the quantum reality, quantum world of physics, how they are interconnected in my mind. I'm about to go pick up my kids, but as I was washing the floors and cooking and preparing everything for their arrival, these thoughts just came popping into my mind, and now they're becoming clearer and clearer and clearer. And I thought, oh my God, let me share that with you and see what you think about it. So I always wonder, how does this work that I find this specific mushroom under this specific tree? Let's say I find an Amanita villosa in Los Angeles under a coast live oak, and then this same mushroom will pop up somewhere, let's say in Sonoma Coast under an oak. What is this? Is this a single mycelium or like one big organism, just like the one, the Armillaria species, the honey mushroom in Oregon, which is considered to be the second largest organism, alive living organism in the world? Or is it that does it come in patches, that underground mycelial network, right? The one that made up like thin filaments, the hyphae. Is it like a little web, right, that is here and then it stops, and then there is another web somewhere else, and then another web somewhere else? So I always wonder about, like, how does it travel? Imagine there is a coast live oak tree here, then there is a big road, a town, and then there's another coast live oak here, and both coast live oaks have Amanita villosa or Amanita ocreata or Amanita navinapta, the blushing bright Amanita, growing under them. Is the mycelium like going under the ground, under the road, under the town, and then re-emerges next to that other tree? How does this happen? How come we find a specific mushroom in a specific time of a year in a specific location? And this is my thought. I think that, and I've been feeling this inside since forever, since I've started, gathering mushrooms all together. I always feel like mycelium is a quantum organism, that it is not, there is this mycelium, then there is this mycelium, then there is this mycelium, that all of the mycelium is one organism that expresses itself differently as it emerges here in this in our immediate 360, in this observable world. So under the ground, before we see it, before we can measure it, it behaves like a wave. It has a wave function, meaning all of the possibilities there of it becoming whatever mushroom are infinite, right? So all of the particles are in superposition, and when it emerges here, based on location and based on in certain environmental factors, it expresses itself as a certain type of mushroom. And this is also coming because just recently, 2 days ago, I was walking on one of my trails, and I saw 3 amanitas. I'm going to make a video about that, growing side by side. One was villosa, which is a springtime amanita. The other one was navinapta, which is the blushing bright amanita, and right next to them was the western destroying angel, Amanita ocreata. They were growing like this, like one was here, one was here, one was here. I don't know if you can see. So I thought, oh my God, like, are there mycelium intertwined, or is this just all one big mycelium that literally expresses itself based on whatever is needed in this specific environment? And the reason I'm holding an apple, maybe I'm jumping here, but it is very challenging sometimes to express a quantum thought in a linear fashion. with sentences that have a beginning and an end and have to follow one another, because everything is kind of like spreads out in a 360 manner. So I'm just basically taking this line that expands in 360, this line, and trying to connect them together for you to understand. The reason I'm holding an apple is because I also take foraging classes that are not for the mushrooms, they're for all the plants, and I've been taking them with an incredible teacher, Christopher Nayargis, and an incredible teacher, Pascal Bedard. And with Pascal, we were talking, we were actually making stuff out of apples, right? We were making either vinegar or salted apples or alcohol from an apple. And he described it to me in a way that literally changed my world. He said that the result that we're going to get does not come from nowhere, right? So we might get salted apples, we might get alcohol, we might get vinegar, because everything that's needed for it to become that is already there. So the lactobacteria is already there and it's already present. The yeast that will turn it into alcohol is already there and already present. What we're doing is we're activating, we're creating the right environment for that bacteria to thrive. Like, for example, for lactofermentation, forgive me, I don't remember the exact process of it, but you would add salt and I don't remember, close or keep the thing. Oh, we would close the jar, right? So we would deprive the thing from alcohol, and then the right bacteria will emerge from the apple and create the result that we want. Similarly with vinegar, creating vinegar and alcohol, right? With vinegar, we want to leave, first with alcohol, right? We would add sugar, we would close, I don't remember if we need alcohol or not, oxygen or not. We would either close or open the jar and then wait for the time to pass for that bacteria to emerge that we need, for the yeast to emerge. And then we would want to transform that alcohol, let's say, into vinegar. We would open the jar, keep the jar lid open, and allow the air to come in and the reaction to take place for it to turn into vinegar. The reason I'm saying is that that's exactly how I feel about mycelium, that it is all just one big quantum organism that based on certain things. One is the environment, the environmental need expresses itself as either a salted apple or an alcohol or a vinegar, only it has way more variations. These are the type of variations that we know how to get from an apple, but the environment and the quantum field of mycelium, they have a numerous amount of different outcomes, aka mushrooms, fruits, that they can produce based on the needs of that specific immediate 360 environment, right? So the reason we're finding specific mushrooms is because we are the observers who, for so long as we have an observer, right, a self-aware observer, I'm self-aware, I know where I am, right, I know who I am, I know where I am, I know my location. So based on that location, when I'm observing a fruit of the mushroom, I know how it's going to appear because I know the location and I already know, right, that because somebody wrote in a book or somebody told me before that they have observed it before. So I am expecting to see just a certain amount of possibilities, that just a certain amount of outcomes, just a certain number of mushrooms growing in that specific area because somebody has recorded. They collapsed the wave function into a 3D, into a physical outcome that in the form of a mushroom. So basically what we're doing by recording what we find is we're in a way we're exploring, right? And we, as an explorer, you can still find new things. And I personally find a lot of new mushrooms when I'm out there, not like a crazy amount, but the moment I submit them to iNaturalist, in a way, I am solidifying those infinite possibilities and creating that one possibility and collapsing the way it functioned, collapsing the infinite possibilities of those mushrooms. Do you know what I'm saying? I hope you understand what I'm saying. But I think it's absolutely fantastic because I do truly internally think that all mycelium is interconnected, and that as it comes to a specific area, an observable area, it begins to behave like a particle instead of a wave, right? As it emerges through the ground, it already knows that it's been observed here, and as we come to observe it, we already know pretty much what we're going to see. But when we don't know, the possibilities of different mushrooms growing in absolutely different habitats is infinite. There's, I think that that somewhere out there in the forest there grow mushrooms that we like never and with mushrooms, by the way, there grow mushrooms, let me finish that thought, sometimes I jump. There grow mushrooms that we would never think would be growing there, but then somebody will record it, will find it, record it, and say, oh my god, this is new. Just like I found yesterday, I found an albino Amanita villosa, right? No, I didn't know that it can even exist, but somehow it was there and I observed it and I recorded it. So now people would go and probably find more of it there. And the same goes with the mushrooms in the places that we haven't observed, possibly not behaving like we're expecting them to behave. Meaning they're not growing under this specific tree in this specific time of year until we observe them and make a record of it and spread the knowledge to others. So I don't know, just wanted to share that with you, that I think that that's how it works. And the moment we spread the word, the moment there is one of us who observes a new phenomenon, like let's say matsutake growing in the sand, all of a sudden that is a possibility, and all of a sudden everybody goes and everybody begins to see that because one of us observed that miracle and shared it. So I don't know, I really wanted to share this with you because it is truly a matter of communicating with the divine, communicating with an organism that is, in my understanding, in my gut feeling, is a quantum organism that has the ability to express itself in many different ways based on interaction with us, right? So we're interacting with it, so it expresses itself how we choose for it to express itself. Plus, of course, the need of the tree and other environmental factors, but mostly they're based on location because we prescribed a location to that specific place. We prescribed a name to that specific tree. So now that we named everything around there, right, which is like a double-edged sword, because a lot of us, we want to especially foragers, we want to be able to ID everything, right? So we identify, we want to know what this is, what the name is, how it behaves. So in a way, we're learning about the world by doing that, but also in a way, we're collapsing an infinite amount of possibilities into a one possibility by doing that. And it is very important to not get stuck there and to not box ourselves into this box that in this area we know that we will only find this type of thing, because everything is possible. All right, perfect timing. The trash guy is here, so it's getting loud. I love you guys. I hope everybody's having an amazing day. Bye.